Hello, welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield. I'm here today with Brandon and Michelle O'Gwen. Today we're going to talk about Memphis World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest. But first, know this is Sound Bites. It's the Daily Memphian's weekly dining podcast. It's a part of our free podcast series at the Daily Memphian. All of our podcasts are free. Believe it or not, make sure you're not missing out on any old episodes of Sound Bites or any of our other shows by subscribing on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Plus, you can hear the newest episodes of this podcast every week at WYXR Radio, Thursdays at 11 a.m. If you are listening right now on WYXR, keep listening. You can tune into the Sidebar with Eric Barnes. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for coming back to our podcast 2 years later.
Yeah, it felt like yesterday.
It did.
Say, really, it has been 2 years? It didn't seem like it.
It doesn't. We had you guys on in 2024, and we really got into the nuts and bolts of judging for Memphis World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest. I am going to call it Barbecue Fest because I am now a Memphian. I've been here 22 years. That's what I'm calling it. But we got into the nuts and bolts of it. It was so fascinating. There have been a lot of changes in the last couple of years, both at Memphis and at the barbecue scene in Memphis. You guys are bringing up quite literally, the next generation of barbecue people in Memphis. And so we're going to talk about all of that. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
I am going to direct listeners to go back to our old episode and listen to it. We're going to try to link it maybe in the show notes, and I'll link it on the dailymemphian.com story about this podcast so that people can go back and get all that. We don't have to go into the full background. Do give us a little bit of a bio of each of you. Start with you.
Wow. Okay.
Just like your elevator.
My elevator pitch about
yeah.
myself. Well, I'm Brandon O'Gwen. I think I still remember that most days. Let's see. We run the judging at Memphis in May. We have for a long time. It's running together how many years it's been, but it's been a long time.
Well, you should know we met there, and so our anniversary should count for that.
Yeah, actually, I do know that. We met
You're in trouble.
I am in
already.
trouble already. It didn't take long. 3 seconds into a podcast. Way to go, Brandon. But yeah, no, like I said, we run the judging at Memphis in May. We also put on other barbecue events over the city, and then we run a catering business here in town as well.
And we compete.
And then we compete. As I like to say, the only contest we don't cook is Memphis in May because we run it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, and I'm Michelle O'Gwen. Like I said, we're both over the judging program for the Memphis May Barbecue Fest, as everybody calls it, because we are from Memphis. We compete, cater, raise family, and just do it all. I mean, just making things happen, I guess.
That is our job, especially at Memphis in May, is just to make it happen.
Make it happen, yes. It's a lot of work. People do forget that Memphis in May is a not-for-profit.
And we don't get paid for this.
I know.
We are volunteers.
We talked about that in the last episode, but it makes sense because it's a not-for-profit, so they really depend on volunteers. They need someone who has the passion, has the chops, and that's what we have you back on today. Okay, full disclosure, I have some friends that are on a barbecue competition team, Memphis in May. They've been there for decades, at least 2 decades now, competing. And first of all, when is... They have questions. We're going to get to that. That's the teaser. But when is Memphis in May this year? Where is it? What's going on this year? Because that's kind of the main question that we're getting at Daily Memphian is people are just a little bit confused. Sure. Because in 2024, we had SmokeSlam that was downtown, and then Memphis in May was at Tiger Lane, Liberty Park, and then... It's changed up this year.
Well,
tell us what the hell is the
World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest.
Perfect.
Or Barbecue Fest.
Either way, yeah.
Is at Tiger Lane this year, or Liberty Park, or the Liberty Bowl, or whatever you want to call it. The fairgrounds. There's a million names for it, just like all the streets surrounding it.
You're right.
But it's back there at Liberty Park this year.
And it is May 13th through the 16th of 2026.
Perfect. Write it down, everybody. Now you know. And there's no SmokeSlam this year.
No, there is no SmokeSlam. They took a pause this year, and we are the only show in town.
The only show in town. We're going to talk more about SmokeSlam in a little bit. But what is different? And this is the question I'm getting from my friends on teams. What is going to be different this year? Because live fire and open fire, however you want to call it, is, I feel like maybe it's been a trend for a long time, but I feel like it's really taking the food competition world, for lack of a better term, like by storm the last 5+ years. And that's a component that's being added to Memphis in May.
Yes. So
that's the biggest change. But what are all the changes that are happening this year?
So this year, obviously, we have an increase in teams because SmokeSlam is on pause. We have 69 rib teams, 32 shoulder teams, 34 hog teams, 25 patio teams, 30 Memphis in May junior teams, which we'll talk about in just a second, 20 open fire adult teams, which we'll obviously get into as well, and 6 open fire junior teams.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then we also have the stake component, which obviously did not have the last time we talked as well. So there is a stake cook-off association contest that's happening in conjunction with that. And I believe we have over 100 state competitor teams. The cutoff is today for that, for the teams that want to sign up. Sorry, today is Monday, April 27th.
So it's too late by the time
It's
you're
too
hearing
late.
this.
It's too late by the
hear
time you
this.
hear this. Yeah.
But so we have obviously increased our competitor count significantly since the last time we have talked, and we're very excited about that. The open fire component is new, and it is very much trending. So
what you're seeing everywhere on social media.
Yeah,
these
you're
days,
seeing it
that's
on
for
food
sure.
competitions, TV shows. You're seeing it in competitions in action. Actually, since the last time I was here with you guys, I actually won the World Food Championships live fire division at the World Food Championships in 2024.
And that was in Vegas.
And that was actually in Indianapolis.
I remember. Okay, you had gone to Vegas.
No,
and
originally the contest started in Vegas. So
Right.
they traveled. So this year it was in Indianapolis.
Congratulations.
And that was
amazing.
very exciting. I cried like a baby. But so what I like to explain what open fire and live fire competition is to people who may not know what it is. It's kind of like camping cooking, but you don't bend over. So it's nice for our backs.
I don't know what I thought you were going to say, but it wasn't that.
We have a fire table, which a fire table is pretty much what it is. It's a steel table that you put your coals and your wood and you cooking over open flame. You're just not on the ground, so it's easier to work with and stuff like that. You can use the ground. Obviously, you've seen on some of the shows like Barbecue Raw or things like that.
Or people have a pit or whatever they do. But you have a table.
So it's pretty much, it's a grill surface without a lid. Mm-hmm. You can't use a lid. It's open fire.
And no electricity. I remember that.
No electricity, no propane, no gas fuel, no nothing. This is caveman style.
Okay, but can you use a real lighter or do you have to use matches? I'm wearing earrings that are shaped like matches today, so I really need to know.
That is the only thing they let us use.
They let you use a lighter to light your fire. But That's really about it.
How generous.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And then they make you put it away.
And then they make you put it away, and you can't use anything else
It's like
the whole time.
cave people stuff.
Yeah, so like even if you wanted to like you can do all kinds of fancy dishes with this. This is not just like barbecue. You can do all kinds of things. If you wanted to make some sort of whipped potatoes, you cannot even use a battery operated blender because it's a different. It's a power source.
My.
So you're using those old school ones, like crank up ones, like your mom had. Like,
I feel like I had like a play school one of those.
I pulled mine out of the antique bin the other day because we went to this live fire competition in Nashville, and it was the same rules. And I legitimately was out there hand cranking a 1950s mixer to whip stuff together.
Okay, but is this not like the trend in everything where we're tired of algorithms and AI, and now we're gonna go back to the analog?
Yeah, I think the nostalgia is there. Yeah, it's a lot of that. And I think what really the thing with live fire is that it's versatile. Everybody who's been doing these food competitions, we've been putting food in styrofoam clamshells for years now, and people get bored with that after a while. So you get to do something different. You get to plate something up differently. You get to use different proteins.
Shows true fire management skills.
It shows a lot more effort, and I think you're going to see that at the competition this year, the live fire competition. They've got a lot of really great teams coming in to cook
from all over
the place.
So you're getting people that haven't ever competed at Memphis in May before that are coming in for this.
Yeah, they're flowing. A team is coming in from Ireland to compete because Ireland is our honored country this year.
Right, that's right.
So they're actually coming in town, and I saw they're putting on a live fire dinner. I think at don't quote me. I want to say Bog and Barley.
That makes sense. Yeah,
it kind of makes sense. But I saw they're doing that as part of their thing when they're in town. They've got a team, I believe, is coming in from Brazil or Argentina, somewhere down that way.
Classic.
Making it more of a world championship.
Yeah, and a lot of those teams, they've never darkened the doors of Memphis in May before. They're not barbecue competitors. They're live fire guys, and
they're really excited.
They're really excited about it. So it's definitely going to bring some energy and. you'll be able to eat the food there.
Yeah.
Yes, tell us about that, because that's always the thing that people say. Like, if you
always.
don't know nobody in it,
You don't have
know
to,
nobody.
You don't have to know anybody this year to eat. You just have to buy the ticket to get into the experience area over there. The live
like an
fire
add-on
experience.
package.
It's like an add-on package, but trust me, it's totally worth it.
There's barbecue alley for those that want to eat barbecue, and then
Yes.
there's the open fire area where Al Fragoni and his team will be cooking up a whole open fire spread of food for the public for
And
sampling.
full disclosure, that was the gentleman that was at SmokeSlam
Yes.
in previous years, where
Yes.
people could kind of come up and have this experience you're describing.
100%, yeah.
It's kind of like taking a really popular element from that event that's not happening this year and putting it at Memphis in
And
May.
he honestly, he's starting an open fire competition league, like a sanctioning body. Him and Mike Starr he's out of Vegas actually, I think, or that area in Nevada. They're the ones that are overseeing the scoring and all that competition for the open fire part. So this is something they're going to start to expand upon around the country. So it'd be really good to see it in its infancy. He's been doing it at his ranch out there in Hondo, Texas. We went there this past fall and competed there. Had a great time.
What's the town in Texas?
Hondo.
Okay.
Yep.
You need a real small magnifying glass
It's
to
a
find that on the
very
map,
small
I'll tell
town.
you that.
Well, I've been to a place called Hutto, Texas, and I was like wondering if it was the same, but I imagine there's a lot of towns like that.
Yeah, it's just
Okay,
outside of San Antonio.
there's,
Okay,
there's
cool.
like 2 stoplights.
Right. It really is. But so they're expanding that. So this is the first one he's expanded as a competition outside of his event that he's been doing outside of.
I feel like Memphis can take some credit for this like governing body, this thing that we talked about on your first episode. Like, there's all these different governing bodies. There's different ways that you judge barbecue. There's different ways that you judge cooking competitions. There's like the Kansas City one. There's like a different one. There's a Memphis barbecue network as well. Is that still the one that is managing Memphis in May, or
No.
do you have your own?
Memphis in May is its own sanctioning body.
Okay. Yes. So, okay, I'm going to backtrack a tiny bit. You rattled off those team numbers in a very impressive fashion. So we have, as we always have, rib teams, shoulder teams, whole hog teams. We have patio teams, which are sort of like a smaller team, or maybe like, we
They're
don't
like
want to say
they're like the backyards.
the backyards. Yeah. People that are gonna maybe getting started or don't want to go all the way,
yep.
all in. But what's new ish is the junior league. Like, you had kids cooking barbecue before.
They were just hiding under their parents.
They were just hiding. Yeah. Well, it's like last time we also talked about like a ladies barbecue competition where it's like they were actually making the ribs in the team. Like, they just weren't. Their name wasn't on the
docket.
placard or whatever. Yeah, the docket. So we have that. But this year we're adding for sure open fire adult teams, open fire kid teams, and the steak component. And this is in addition to like all the other categories that you have always had.
Yeah, we
Yes.
didn't take anything away. We're just adding.
Seafood, anything but mustard,
So-
barbecue.
I
What
got
am
you.
I
So
missing?
let's see. Tomato sauce, mustard sauce, vinegar sauce.
Yes.
We have wings, turkey,
And steak on Thursday.
steak on Thursday.
That's just Thursday.
That's just Thursday.
Oh, no, plus
then we
kids.
Have, then we have
kids pork chop and steak
on
Thursday.
Cute.
Then Friday we have beef, poultry, seafood, and exotic are our 4 ancillary categories.
Plus the kids' dessert and chicken.
The kids' dessert and chicken.
Yeah, dessert.
Then we've got the live fire competition peppered in there those 2 days as well. And then Saturday we've got our big categories, the mains,
the pork.
the pork categories, and the patio porkers on Saturday.
Is it too much?
No, honestly, there's room for more. I say that crazy.
I
neat.
love
Well, we
that.
just try to add a little each year because otherwise it will be unmanageable.
Right. Yeah.
You just grow it a little bit each year and add more things to make it more of an experience for the people. But definitely been able to do more and get more public engagement. Sauce wrestling is also on Wednesday.
Yeah, I want to say Wednesday.
That's an event to watch. If you happen to be down there on Wednesday, it's fun to watch.
It's in a weird way. We have in our Daily Memphian offices and our studios, we have a lot of really great work from our photojournalists that we have now printed out and framed on the walls. We're finally settling in over here. And one of them that we have in our little kitchenette area is of the sauce wrestling. And it's quite a photo. Mixed reactions to the photo. I think you just have to go one time and watch it and check it out and smell it. You can smell the sauce from a ways away.
It's something to witness, especially as a Memphian, growing up around here with all the, wrestling on Channel 5 on Sunday, Saturday afternoon, that kind of thing. Seeing that kind of go into barbecue is really crazy. that one, and if you've never seen Piggy Idol
Thursday.
on Thursday,
You gotta do that one.
that is something you should at least lay eyes on once as a Memphian. And then probably never want to forget that you saw it. It's one of those
I've seen
things.
some good ones.
Yeah.
I like the way that you say that. You want to lay eyes on it once just so you can know.
You can know you've seen it.
can
We've
know.
actually got more teams this year than we've had.
I think we have
I
6.
think we're up to 6 teams doing it this
We have
year.
6.
So that's 6 awesome experiences you're going to have there.
I'm excited. I feel like I was, for the first time ever, was out of town last year. I'm doing it this year. I'm going. Our new food writer, Sophia Surratt, is going. We're going to be all up in the barbecue championship this year. Okay, let's talk about the next generation of barbecue pitmasters, or as maybe we were talking about before we started rolling, the Nepo babies of barbecue. in the best way. That's such a negative term, but
Their population is growing.
Their population is,
Yeah.
and your son is involved.
He is one of the
Your
Nepo babies.
11-year-old son has won championships and competed already.
He's already a national champion.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
At
What did he
11
make?
That category, they did, it was the pork division.
They did a pork belly bao bun.
That's my favorite.
Over
thing ever.
open
I am
fire.
so hungry right now. Okay,
Yeah, we
anyways,
probably
keep
should
going.
have ate before we talked about all this, being honest. But yeah, it was like a pork belly bao bun, and then they did the slaw with it. And
It was good.
it-
That's what they won with. The other
Yeah.
categories, they did good. They did a breakfast burger, which was a blueberry glazed burger with bacon, a fried egg on a maple bacon donut bun with a really good 3-cheese mac and cheese. And then I forgot what they did. Oh, for the beef,
For the beef, they did tomahawks and
cream spinach.
cream spinach, which we had to wash that pot the next day. It was horrible.
These kids have got access to some premium.
I mean, and they were
Yeah.
the oldest one was
Yeah.
16 years old. I mean, you can't beat that. They were 9 to 16, never cooked together before. They cooked by themselves before, but not together as a group, and they worked together so well. We were very proud of them.
So there's going to be a category for adults to do the open fire like we talked about before, and also for the kids to do it.
Correct.
Kind of what you're describing now.
Yeah, they invited 6 kids that to compete in the open fire division. He's done it before at the one we talked about at Alfregone's Ranch in Hondo, Texas. That's most of the kids that are coming to compete in this one were at that event as well.
Okay.
So they have the experience. They kind of know what the skill level is the person they're going up against. So they know if they need to step up their game or not. But I'm excited. They have a couple new ones coming in because they couldn't fill all the spots with everybody that was there. So we'll see.
And they're going to throw something crazy at them. Weber's releasing a brand new grill that no one's ever seen before, and that's going to be its debut.
It's going to fly to the moon and
It's gonna-
back.
it's
Bring
a-
back moon
Yeah,
meat.
so they get to see it for the first
Yeah.
time on Thursday at Memphis in May. Get a quick crash course on how to use it,
and then
and
compete
then
on it.
compete on it the
Friday.
next
And this
day.
is what they're giving for the kids?
Yeah, that's just that one.
Oh
But
my
then we have our Memphis in May junior competition, which
Okay.
we had our inaugural year of that last year.
We had 22 kids
We had
last year.
22 kids last year compete.
I think it was like 3 or 4 teams from Memphis City Schools.
Yeah, we've actually got 3 or 4 teams from the Memphis City schools. They put together. They're coming out. They did really great last year. It was great to see it.
Some of the best desserts you've ever had.
Yeah. We let the kids do desserts, and the judges came back and they were like, "We need adult desserts. We need
Yeah.
adults to do
Yes.
dessert." And that was the best food I've ever had at Memphis in May. But yeah, so they do 4 different categories. They do pork chops, ribeye steaks, chicken legs, and a dessert. So they get to kind of be a little creative with the dessert, at least.
This year we have 30 teams competing.
That's wild. What do you have a total number of all the teams of all the categories?
Oh, well, once I have the state counts, I can
Yeah,
estimate.
we don't actually have it all yet because, like I said, we're not even finished taking steak entries, and each one of those is an individual cook, so that would
So-
technically be a team. But
Yeah, so before the stake numbers, which we'll finalize today, we're at 216
Okay.
competition teams between the kids, open fire, and the pork, the barbecue teams. Last I heard from staff at Memphis in May that the state team count was well over 100.
Wow. Okay.
So
yeah.
yeah. The good thing is on space wise, the state competitors must compete within a barbecue competition spot, so they have to have nobody in their park to cook and that, so they won't be randomly in a parking lot by themselves with their grill.
Yes, they'll be they're integrated into the team tent
They
spaces.
set up in someone's tent. Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool.
For spatial reasons, that's great.
Yes. Okay, so that leads me into a question that you probably talked about a lot, but if people are not on a team, they're not super into it, and the people are so curious if they haven't had a chance to go. What is compare having the event downtown and then having it at Liberty Park / Tiger Lane / whatever you want to call it. What is it like now to have it at Tiger Lane? I know people always talk about load in and all that stuff.
Look,
you don't know what that is if you don't not on a team.
Logistically, for putting on a festival, loading in all of the the drinks and the food and the team equipment, and,
the tables, the chairs, the
scaffolding,
the scaffolding, the whole 9 yards. It is so much easier at Tiger Lane. It is a great venue. You've got easy access for bringing in large things. They're used to doing big events there.
No mud,
and there's
mud.
There's no mud. That's the big difference. Look, all of us Memphians love the river. We love the view. You love the atmosphere, all that. That's great, But honestly, I love it at Tiger Lane just as much. It's but I'm a Tiger fan, so I have a lot of good experiences there tailgating and that kind of thing.
From a judge coordinator or judging chair perspective, I actually like it because we're actually in a building instead of a
You're
tent.
in the Pepkin building.
So when there's a front coming through, we're not dealing with projectiles or things like that. So we're actually can shelter in place in the building instead of having to evacuate as much as we were.
Because it is May.
It is May. And
it is May. And it's going to rain.
And like it's going to today. I think we've heard from our judges, they actually like it being at Liberty Park as well because the way the layout is where the teams are, they're not having to walk as far.
Yeah.
And it's not as exhausting on them and then get back in time and stuff like that.
It definitely does help with that. And two, it's kind of sectioned off, like our hog teams are kind of all together, our rib teams are all together, our shoulder teams all together. It makes it easier for us to not lose judges, which at Tom Lee it was.
Because it's just one
It was
long
never
line.
a dull moment trying to keep. We have a whole person whose job is to
Wrangle,
keep track of the judges,
herding, cats.
yeah. It's a long thing when you have 1.5 miles to.
You're right. It's a big park. Okay, judges. So how many judges is ideal? I think last time you said 300 was ideal for 220 teams, or something like that.
Yeah, that's somewhere in that number. I think this year we're
at 257, and we're on a wait list.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah, we're at 250.
I was going to ask, what's the scene and what's the word on judging and judges and
we are full on judges.
Increased interest in getting qualified.
Actually, we had a good class this year.
Yeah, we did. We had a very full class this year.
I think we had 80.
Yeah, we had 80. We've gone back up. Since COVID, we had actually cut it back to only doing 50 for years, for a couple of years.
Ideally, they've always wanted to sell out at 100 new judges every year. So we're getting back there. We had 80, and this is the first year we taught the judge class. I think it was end of January. Mm-hmm. We actually had a team come in and do a whole hog presentation instead of doing ribs or shoulders. So the judges that took that class actually got to experience what a whole hog presentation looks like for the first time versus in the park for the first time.
Yes, but they are put through some pretty rigorous training before they do the judging, and then the judging is really again everyone needs to go back and listen to the first episode.
We can talk about what we've implemented about the judging and how we're training them better.
Yes.
Yeah. So since the last time we've spoken, what we've done is in addition to the class that we make everyone go through, we've implemented our shadow judging program, which is essentially we have our on-site component where our judges go out to actually visit the teams and then they judge the 3 on-site presentations, right? So we had a lot of teams and judges that were new were complaining they just weren't super comfortable going out the first time and seeing that.
Yeah.
So what we've done is now your first 2 years as a judge or your first year, we make you go out and do those on-sites as a shadow to an experienced judge. So you're going out, you're experiencing the whole thing.
The very dramatic.
The whole
pageantry.
Show. The whole show, right? And then they get to score it. They get to talk to the other judge kind of about the process.
It's like a mentorship.
Kind of like a mentorship type
Such
thing.
a good idea.
And then their scores don't actually count for anything.
They're just practicing.
So they're just practicing. It marks them off towards their certifications because obviously they're getting trained. They're getting better training than a lot of them had. And we ended up a couple of years ago, the first year we started, we were a couple of people short, so we had some of our older judges fill in for the spots just because we have to make it even across the board. Because if you're going to send 2 judges to one team, you have to send 2 judges to every team. So we had some of our experienced judges, and they said, I learned more watching this and doing this way, seeing how someone else does it. So it's really been a great thing for our judges.
Great positive feedback.
Yeah, we've heard nothing but good things about it. So it's definitely continuing on. We've got another new crop this year. It said 80 judges, and it's showing in the scoring. I think I'm not having to chase anybody down and make them justify anything as much as I was. They're finally starting to get it, and that's what we want: is the most professional judges that you can have.
You already had a really sophisticated judging system, I felt like, where you're not necessarily, it's not like everyone has, what you said was, it's not a jury. Like everyone's having their own experience and then they're putting down their numbers. And so when the numbers all point to the same couple of teams, that is very meaningful in terms of who is great, who is good. So this is just an additional layer of professionalism on top of that judging. That's very impressive. Okay. Now is a great time to insert some of these questions I got from some people. Judging pet peeves is one that's very general. Anything that comes to mind when I ask that? Other than you said that if you lose them, they're don't know where they are, you have to go find them.
From our point of view,
yes, from your point of view,
that is my biggest pet peeve is that.
Staying on time.
Because if you delay something or if you get lost and you don't
a domino
find
effect.
someone, it is a domino effect. Like we always tell people, 5 minutes. If you're late 5 minutes, it's an hour for awards.
Yeah.
And that turns into
snowballs.
me getting screamed at, and I don't like getting screamed at for nothing, right?
Yes.
Especially
as a volunteer. Yes.
Yeah, especially as a volunteer. I only want to hear so much.
Yeah, we totally I might say berate, or what's the right word, strongly encourage them to be on time for everything and get back with haste, because we do need those cards back in a timely manner, because once they are back and they have those cards,
then we have to key them.
4 people sitting in a trailer waiting to hand key those, because it's 10 key. It's not Scantron. It's not electronic. It's not digital. Yeah. There's no iPad.
Well, thank goodness.
And if you think about it, when you think about how many scorecards there are, we're averaging 1,500 scorecards on a daily basis.
Right.
They have to be keyed in accurately, and if they 10 key wrong, they got to go back and fix it, because everything's got to match. And still be on time for awards and have the script copy ready for stage.
There's a lot that's going on behind that moment that people are waiting for and impatient for.
Oh yeah, and
they've had drinks and they're extra impatient,
especially on Saturday when they're waiting to see if they made finals. I mean, that's the biggest thing, because for every barbecue team, there's 3 on-site scorecards plus the blind cards, and that's where it totally adds up really quickly.
Yeah. And if anyone's late at all, it's like I said, it's a serious domino effect. So that is my biggest pet peeve, and you will hear me say that repeatedly throughout the entire event. That's pretty much the only thing I ever complain about.
And the teams, I think, feel the same way about that, especially with on-site judging. They want their judges to be on time, because they've tried to get that product perfect for that window of when the judge is supposed to be there. And if a judge is 5 minutes late here, now he's 10 minutes late here and 15 minutes late there, especially a rib team, they're the ones barking so bad because their ribs have done set 20 minutes longer than they wanted them to.
That's a nice pun as well. Good job, barking. But no, the teams are lined up. They're in their T-shirts or their aprons are ready. They're standing there. It's like a solemn moment. They're waiting. They don't want to.
They're nervous.
They're nervous as can be. They don't want to be. I think that I love this conversation because it really paints a picture for people that is just like we were joking at the beginning, barbecue fest, but it's just such the serious competition in addition to all the partying. Okay. We are actually running out of time, but I do have more questions for you two that we're going to get into in part 2 of this episode. We're going to talk about judging pet peeves, where you guys like to go out to eat when you're not cooking your own food at home, and big judging changes for the Memphis in May barbecue competition. So that's what we're going to talk about in part 2. We're going to get more into behind the scenes with Memphis in May, volunteering, what's up with the weather, really get into some of the food and dishes that Michelle especially is winning food competitions with. You can tune into Soundbites podcast on WYXR Radio Thursdays at 11. Listen wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Holly, again, here with Michelle and Brandon O'Gwen, judging organizers for Memphis in May. Cheers and goodbye. We'll see you in part 2.